Thank you. We're now going to begin the presentation of the Grateful Nation Award. I would like to invite Mr. Dennis Carroll of the Raytheon Company, this year's co-sponsor with JINSA of the Grateful Nation Award, to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And thank you, each of you, for being here tonight, and allow me to offer this special thanks to our 5 service chiefs and commander of the U.S. Special Operations Command for sharing an evening with us. I can only imagine what your schedules are like. I also want to thank the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs. I cannot imagine a more worthwhile thing for any organization to do and take the time out and the resources to honor our young warriors. I can tell you, as a very old warrior, I'm so privileged as an individual to be here, but also very privileged and honored to represent Raytheon Corporation. We are about 80,000 strong, and I got to tell you, every day our people come to work thinking about you all, because that's what they do. They're proud to present with you the tools that hopefully will always bring you home. And we want to recognize the 6 young heroes, and they are heroes, and I feel so privileged to be at a table with one, to get to learn about the others, and tonight to present these awards. These 6 outstanding Americans have been chosen by their representing service commands. I can only imagine how difficult that was. They come from both non-commissioned officer and officer ranks. They represent the 5 branches of the U.S. military and the U.S. Special Operations Command. But they also represent the absolute best of America, and it's only fitting that we pause tonight to recognize these men on behalf of this most grateful nation. No nation, no society can survive in the world without these young warriors. It's hard to believe such a great nation depends on so few that decide that they will take the risk and potentially the ultimate sacrifice. I now invite Mr. Dave Steinman, Chairman of JINSA, Board of Advisors, and Mr. Dave Gantz, JINSA Vice President, to join me on the stage for the presentation, and I turn the microphone back over to the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Representing the United States Army, Sergeant Gregory S. Ruski with General George W. Casey. Sergeant Gregory S. Ruski, a member of the United States Army Reserve, serving with the 1st Brigade of the 104th Division and attached to Combined Joint Task Force 101 under the command of the 101st Airborne Division, was on patrol with his unit in the village of Afghania, Kapisa Province, Afghanistan, April 21, 2008, when a superior enemy force attacked it with heavy grenade, machine gun, and rifle fire. Trapped in an exposed position with his unit, then Specialist Ruski immediately returned fire that allowed most of the platoon to maneuver to areas that provided cover. However, 2 wounded Afghan National Police officers remained pinned down in the open, and Specialist Ruski left his protected position to better engage the enemy and provide covering fire for the fallen officers. As the platoon maneuvered to a better position, soldiers were able to reach one of the Afghan National Police officers. When increased enemy fire made rescuing the other officer seem impossible, Specialist Ruski and 2 other soldiers moved to a more advantageous rooftop position that quickly came under enemy attack. During this violent exchange of gunfire, a bullet struck Specialist Ruski in the hip and exited his lower back. After receiving immediate first aid, he returned to the fight. In the course of 30 minutes of sustained combat, the exposed Afghan National Police officer was able to crawl closer to Specialist Rusky's position. Under covering fire from his platoon, Specialist Rusky and another soldier exposed themselves to enemy fire and sprinted 30 meters to drag the wounded man to safety. Disregarding his wound, Sergeant Rusky provided first aid to the Afghan National Police officer, rejoined the battle, and stayed in the fight until additional American forces could reach the platoon's position and evacuate the wounded. Now Sergeant Rusky's gallantry, valor, and outstanding performance of duty that day reflected great credit upon himself, the 101st Airborne Division, and the United States Army. And for this action, he was awarded the Silver Star and Purple Heart medals.